Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
Kære danskere, jeg har I dag
The Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has announced early elections, hailing the next 4 years as decisive for the country. The past few months of Danish politics have been dominated by US President Donald Trump's threats to annex Greenland, a semi-autonomous Danish territory. Last month, Trump dropped threats to use force against the fellow NATO ally to seize the Arctic island he argues is necessary to defend against possible attacks from Russia and China. Announcing the decision to call early elections, Prime Minister Frederiksen told Parliament that security is and will remain the very foundation of Danish politics for many, many years to come. Hillary Clinton has appeared before a panel of the US House of Representatives that is investigating the crimes of the sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The former Democratic Secretary of State and presidential candidate recently agreed, along with her husband, former President Bill Clinton, to testify to the House Oversight Committee. Both had previously resisted demands to appear. Their agreement to testify warded off potential contempt of Congress proceedings against them. Hillary Clinton has said she does not recall meeting or speaking to Epstein. Her husband, who did know Jeffrey Epstein, has denied any wrongdoing.
The negotiations tomorrow and the talks tomorrow will be largely focused on the nuclear program.
US and Iranian officials are meeting in Geneva for a third round of indirect talks, seen as crucial to averting conflict, with President Donald Trump threatening to strike Iran if a nuclear deal is not reached. The discussions come amid the largest US military build-up in the Middle East since the US-led invasion of Iraq in 2003, and with Iran vowing to respond to an attack with force. The talks are again being mediated by Oman's foreign minister, who said negotiators had demonstrated unprecedented openness to new and creative ideas and solutions. Cuba's government says 4 people shot dead by Cuban border guards in a US-registered speedboat were Cuban nationals living in the United States. In a statement posted online, Cuba's Interior Ministry said that the speedboat's passengers, the 4 who were killed and 6 others who were wounded, also Cuban citizens, had opened fire on a Coast Guard vessel that approached them near an island off the country's northern coast. The incident comes amid increasing tensions between the US and Cuba, which is facing a deepening fuel crisis that has been worsened by the US blocking of oil shipments from Venezuela. Jimmy Lai, Hong Kong's pro-democracy media tycoon, has won an appeal against a fraud conviction in 2022, which had seen him sentenced to nearly 6 years in jail. On Thursday, Hong Kong's Court of Appeal quashed the convictions of Lai and another defendant who had been accused of illegally subletting office space. But the 78-year-old will remain in prison. Earlier this month, he was sentenced to 20 years in jail for colluding with foreign forces under the city's national security law. What started as an innocent snowball fight during the New York City blizzard has snowballed, landing Mayor Zoran Mamdani and the city's police leadership in a row. Video taken on Monday afternoon in Washington Square Park shows a snowball fight following an epic snowstorm, developing into some park goers apparently targeting police with snowballs. Mamdani said afterwards that those involved shouldn't face charges, instead urging New Yorkers to treat officers with respect. But his response put him at odds with police leaders, who called his statements disgraceful.
So I've seen videos of kids throwing snowballs at members of the NYPD in Washington Square Park. And first I want to say that officers have been on the front line of helping our city respond to this blizzard. They have been keeping New Yorkers safe, and they have also been at the heart of our efforts of digging New Yorkers' cars out of these kinds of conditions and ensuring that our ambulances, our MTA buses can keep functioning across this city. They and our entire city workforce deserve to be treated with respect. The only person in our city's workforce who deserves to be treated with a snowball is me.
And footage has been released showing a sinkhole opening at a busy intersection in the US city of Omaha in Nebraska, swallowing 2 vehicles. Reports said that the road will remain closed in case the sinkhole expands. No one was hurt in the incident.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.